And now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and restart our computer and go into BIOS to configure our BIOS settings to be ready to boot Tails from our computer. So I've gone ahead and turned off my PC, and now what we want to do is we want to go into what is called BIOS to configure our computer settings so we can actually boot Tails on our computer. And so to get into BIOS, this varies from manufacturer to manufacturer and model to model of your computer. I'm currently on an HP Envy laptop, and my key for getting to BIOS is pressing F10 while it's starting up. And you might want to double check this for your manufacturer. And so I'm going to go ahead and power on, and I'm going to start pressing F10 until you see it's going to BIOS. And this will open up the BIOS menu. I hope you can see it fairly clearly on the screen. I'm not too sure about this camera quality. And we want to scroll along to, well, on my one it's system configuration. Depending on your model, it may be different. It may be using a different type of BIOS. And you want to find something that says, for me it's under boot options, you want to find something that says legacy support. This is normally disabled if you're on Windows 8 or 8.1 by default. However, if you're on a desktop, maybe, that you've built yourself, I assume this might be unnecessary. Or if you're on an older laptop, this step will also be unnecessary. This is mainly for if you're on a Windows 8 laptop or any other newer PC. And so you want to make sure this is enabled, and then you want to go ahead and exit saving changes. And this will probably prompt you to enter a code, or at least it does in mine, so it can actually enable legacy support. It does say it could potentially harm your Windows 8 machine, but I don't think it really does. I haven't experienced any problems or anything. And then you can just go ahead and exit this. I'm going to go ahead and turn my computer off again, just because I want it to be shut down so I can do this. But yes, make sure you do actually save your changes. And then, so what we want to do now is we want to go into what's called the boot options, or so we can choose our boot device. On my HP Envy here, the key is F9, and again, depending on your manufacturer and your model, this key will be different. I know on my old Asus laptop, it was delete. And so what you want to do is find that key, and when you power on, just keep pressing, for me it's F9, whatever key it is, and find the boot option menu, or the boot manager. And now what you want to do is you want to scroll down to where it says USB hard drive, and for me it's my Kingston USB, so Kingston Data Traveler. Depending on what USB type it is, it'll be listed differently. Go ahead and select that and press enter to boot from it. Now this will take you to the boot Tails window, and if you leave it long enough it'll start the main one. If the main option does error out, select the second option, which was the failsafe. I know that in an older version of Tails, the main option kept crashing for me, and I had to use the failsafe option each time for it to work properly. And so this will go ahead and start up Tails. And now I'll go ahead and switch over to where I'm running Tails in a virtual machine, so you can see the screen a lot more clearly, and I can go through it in a lot more detail. So I've just switched over to my virtual machine here of Tails, which is just starting up. On a side note, I highly recommend you do not run Tails usually in a virtual machine. I'm just running this for demonstration purposes. The reason for this is that it is a lot more insecure. For example, your host operating system or your virtual machine software could potentially be monitoring whatever you're doing inside the virtual machine. And so this is going to go ahead and start up, and this will bring you a menu saying, "Welcome to Tails, would you like more options?" Normally you can press no and click on login. I'll go ahead and show you what these more options are, just so you can be more familiar with it. So if I go ahead into the more options, you can see we have an option to add an administration password or a root password that we can use for making changes to Tails once we've started it up. once you've logged in properly. Normally I just leave this blank, so it's disabled by default for better security, as it says there. Windows camouflage: if you're in public and you want to look like you're running Windows 8, you can activate this camouflage, which makes Tails appear that it's Windows 8. The interface is somewhat similar. MAC address spoofing: this is enabled by default. This spoofs all your MAC addresses, or the serial number of your network cards, which increases your security, and I highly recommend leaving that enabled. And lastly, you have the network configuration option. Similarly to the Tor browser bundle, if you're running a proxied, filtered, or censored connection, go ahead and configure it, and it will take you through a setup there. For all intents and purposes, my connection's fine, and most people's will be too. Go ahead and click on Login. Now, you do want to make sure that you're connected to the internet before, obviously, you try to access the deep web, and so to do that, you want to go ahead and find this icon on the top right here next to the power icon. It's the networking, or it looks similar, and it will list all your potential connections here, wireless or wired, and you want to choose which one you want to connect to, and go ahead there. Unfortunately for me, I just found out that my virtual machine doesn't appear to like my computer's internet, and so it's refusing to connect for some reason. I've been trying for the past 5 or 10 minutes, and it's just not working out. So we'll go ahead without any internet on mine. But if you're running your machine normally, booted up on your computer, it should connect to the internet fine. There's no reason why it shouldn't connect. And once you're connected to the internet there, just wait a minute or so. It may take a bit longer to establish a connection to the Tor browser. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on this Tor browser icon here. Assuming your Tor has started up properly, but of course I'm not connected to the internet, so it hasn't started up properly, you won't receive this warning. And so if you do receive this warning, just cancel and wait a bit longer. But once it has started up, it'll bring up this window here, the Tor browser window, and it will take you to the main Tails page. Now I've gone ahead and reinstalled the Tor browser, so I can actually show you what it will look like. Let's go to the website, tails.bomb.org/news. It'll take you to the Tails news website, and again, similarly to what we did in the Tor browser bundle installation, we want to go ahead and disable scripts. So find the icon in the top left of the browser called No Script, and click on Forbid Scripts globally, and that'll stop any malicious scripts from running depending on whatever sites you're visiting. So as you can see here, the Tor browser is essentially the same in Tails as it is on Windows, and assuming you've installed Tails correctly, it will be working on your Tails installation. This is another reason not to install Tails on a virtual machine. And so once you're on this page, you can go ahead and click on Tor check, and this will double check that you're actually connected to the Tor network. As it will say here, your IP address is that, and you're connected to the Tor network. This IP will be different to your actual IP, or it should be anyway. And then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and access, for example, the Hidden Wiki, or any other Onion site. And so an easy way to get to the Hidden Wiki is, well, I've set up a website that lists all the basic sort of directory points on the deep web, and that is deepweb.pw. And I'm assuming all of these are legal Tor hidden services in the sense that they don't host illegal files themselves. And so as you can see here, I've listed the Hidden Wiki here. Go ahead and click on the Hidden Wiki, and it will take you to the Hidden Wiki's Onion link. If this link changes in the future, which it most likely will, I will update it. Alternatively, you can go to the hiddenwiki.org, which contains, or not, you used to go to the hiddenwiki.org, which had a much more sophisticated list, more reminiscent of the actual Hidden Wiki, compared to my basic site, but apparently that's been taken down. I didn't know that. So as you can see here, anyway, the Hidden Wiki has loaded up. This is currently, or the current URL. Like I said, I'll update it if anything changes. And you can see everything's listed here that you can access on the deep web. Now, I get a lot of comments asking me, what is there to do on the deep web that is actually legal and you're not going to get in trouble for? And so I'll just go through a few points, I guess. Some of the main things here in the introduction points, at least, you've got a lot of search engines that are anonymous compared to Google or any other search engines that, I guess, in a way track your data or follow what you do and change for what you do. These ones are much more anonymous, so that might be helpful for you. Or you can search actual Onion sites and different Onion pages on those sites, etc., which can be a lot more helpful than Google for finding hidden services. Most of the financial services and commercial services, I believe, are scams. I'm not too sure about that. They may not be, but from the ones I've clicked on anyway, or just been browsing through, they do appear to be scams. So I would just avoid those in general. Hosting, you've got different types of hosting, web hosting, file hosting, image hosting. They are generally, or they look pretty decent, especially the web hosting ones. You can have your own Onion domain, etc. The forums, boards, and chans, these do contain some, but they look somewhat like decent communities, I guess. Email and messaging. You've got your somewhat anonymous emails here. Some of them are free, I think, though most of them, I believe, are paid. Or possibly the free ones got taken down. Maybe, I'm not sure. You've got WikiLeaks, you've got other stuff, some random New World Order stuff. You've got books, so you've got different types of libraries, I guess, like various collections of ebooks, PDFs, whatever, so you can enjoy your book collection. You've also got, if you're not into speaking English, you've got all your different languages hidden sections here. I'm not sure which ones are legal and which ones are not, so I'll leave that up to your own discretion because I can't read them. Additionally, to find new decent hidden services, there are two subreddits I would recommend checking out and possibly subscribing to if you have a Reddit account, and that is reddit.com/r/onions and reddit.com/r/deepweb. So here, most of these appear to be questions about Onion links, but a lot of them, several of them are actual Onion links. Like you can see this one here is anonymous, real hosting, VPS domains, etc. And you can ask various questions about Onions here as well. They have a fairly decent community there as well. And the Deep Web subreddit, I'm not sure if these are official or not, but these do, again, have pretty decent information about current events on the Deep Web. So they're pretty good to read up on. Say the Hidden Wiki's down or something, it's pretty good to read up on to see new URLs, etc. And so that was essentially a basic introduction to the Deep Web, using Tails anyway. And I hope you found this tutorial useful. I do apologize about the internet not working on my virtual machine here, but like I said, this browser here is the exact same as the Tor browser inside the Tor browser bundle, so you're all good there. I will make note that there is this button here as well. You can click on it, click on New Identity, and it will reset your Tor browser, and it will give you a new IP address, or a new connection. So it's the same here, New Identity. And so my IP address here has changed from what it was before. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.